So hey, guess what? I've got another What I Ate in a Day video, and this edition is going to be Taters and Greens. All the recipes today will feature potatoes and greens. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Hi, Debbie Chu here from Chu on Vegan. Welcome back to my kitchen. If you're new here, I'm a plant-based RN and I follow a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating. Here you will find super easy recipes that are going to help you lose weight and live a healthy lifestyle. If that sounds good to you, please subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and check out all my resources below that I offer. I've got a Facebook group, I've got a newsletter, I've got an e-guide, and I have an online digital course. So as I said in the intro, we're going to be doing another What I Ate in a Day video. These seem to be really popular and they're fun to do, so I'm more than happy to oblige. These recipes are all going to feature potatoes and greens, which is pretty much the staple of my diet. And when you're on a whole food plant-based diet and you want to lose weight or maintain your weight, then those are low calorie dense foods that you want to really fill up on, especially the non-starchy vegetables, the greens. So let's get started. So I just wanted to show you the ingredients. I've got a 20-ounce bag of frozen hash browns that are defrosted. If you can't find frozen hash browns in your area, then you can use pre-baked or pre-steamed potatoes and you're just going to grate them. But you want to make sure that they're cold, so they've been in the refrigerator for a few hours and that they're nice and cold. They'll grate a lot easier. So you could grate probably 3 or 4 potatoes to get the same amount. All right, and then I've got a combination of some yellow peppers, orange peppers, and some onion. And then here's my greens. I've got 2 cups of chopped spinach. You could use kale. I prefer spinach in this dish. And this is 2 cups that was packed, so it's probably more like 2.5 cups. And then the spices, super easy. We're gonna do some garlic salt and some onion powder, and I may throw in a little smoked paprika at the end just for the fun of it. All right, what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna saute the vegetables a little bit to get them soft. So let's go over to the stove. So I've got a little bit of water heating up in this non-stick skillet, and I've got it on medium heat. So we're going to throw in the onions and the bell peppers. It's about a total of 1.5 cups of veggies. And of course I used my handy dandy chopper. So we're just going to let these cook for a few minutes just to get a little softened, maybe 5 minutes. And then we're going to add the spinach in to let that wilt down. Okay, but it's been about 4 minutes. We're going to throw the spinach in. And we'll let this go for a couple minutes. I also wanted to mention it doesn't have to be exactly 20 ounces of potatoes. A little more, a little less. It doesn't matter. Just get an oil-free hash brown or grate your own. Okay, so we're going to add the veggies to this. Then I like to give them a stir. And I don't even let them cool down. I just go. Go, go, go. So for a whole bag of these hash browns, it's 420 calories. So you could eat this whole thing for about 400 and whatever, under 500 calories, because the spinach and the peppers are virtually nothing. All right, we're just gonna season them up with some garlic salt. Again, you can use whatever kind of spices you want. And yeah, I gotta do a little smoked paprika. I thought I could not, but I have to. It's my thing. Another quick stir, and then we're gonna throw them in the non-stick skillet. Okay, so you wanna wipe it out a little bit, and then make sure it gets nice and hot, and then you're gonna put your potatoes in. Because the key to having them not stick is to have the pan nice and preheated. And we are on a medium high. I'm gonna turn it down to medium. And then you just wanna spread them out. And I do this. Some people say don't do that, but I do. But, you know, you can be a smasher or not. Then I like to add a little bit more garlic salt. and a little bit of paprika. Then I'm going to cover this and let it cook for 5 to 6 minutes. All right, let's check and see how we're doing. And I very rarely get it flipped over all in one piece, but I think I'm going to try to do half at a time. All right, flip as best you can. And I don't really care if it comes out in a million pieces. It's all about how it tastes, right? All right, we're gonna let this go for another, like 5 minutes, because you want everything to be, cooked through. So I'm gonna work on making this a little bit more unified, and then we'll be back in about 5 minutes. And I'm just gonna top these with ketchup. And just so you know, some of it may still stick. So don't worry about it. It's not gonna come out perfect because we're not using oil to grease that surface, but it's a small price to pay not to have all those useless calories from oil. All right, I'm gonna put a little ketchup on here. You could put cheese sauce, whatever kind of sauce you want. So if you're having a hard time eating veggies at breakfast, this is a good way to get your greens in. And this isn't quite the whole pan, but it's a lot. I don't know if I'll finish it, but I'm gonna give it a good try. So I'm gonna go enjoy my breakfast, and then we'll move on to lunch. So for lunch, I'm gonna make an arugula salad, but I wanna add some potatoes to those. So I'm gonna chop up some Yukon Golds. I've got 3 small ones here. And then I'm just gonna throw them in the air fryer, 400 for 15 minutes, shaking halfway through. If you want to do them in the oven, I would just double the time. And you may have to flip them halfway through. So I want these fairly small. Bite size. I like Yukon Golds because I don't have to peel them. The skins are so thin. But you could use red, russets, whatever you would like. You could use sweet potatoes if you want. But I have a ton of Yukon Golds right now, so that's why I'm doing all potatoes today, to use them up. And I'm keeping it really simple today with the spices. I'm just going to use some garlic salt. If you're salt free, then just use garlic powder. If you wanted to add some onion powder, you could. Just toss these around. All right, I'm gonna throw these in the air fryer, and then we'll put our salad together. So for my arugula salad, the main thing's going to be arugula, and then I am gonna add some of this shredded cabbage, the red, green, and it's got a little carrot in there. I've got a cucumber, a tomato, and some red onion. The dressing's just gonna be a little avocado and some lemon juice. I'm gonna keep it real simple, put a little garlic salt on there, and then we'll throw the potatoes on there when they're done. But I like to chop the arugula up a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna throw this in the bowl. And it looks like a lot, but once I start chopping with my scissors, you're gonna see how much it goes down. So you can get a lot more greens in. All right, so it's a lot more manageable now. And then what I like to do is I like to add my avocado and my lemon in here. And I'm going to use not quite a half. As you can see the way I cut it, I just kind of cut the top third, maybe. And that's what I'm going to use for the salad. And I just kind of mash it in the skin here. And then I'm just going to sprinkle on a little bit of this lemon juice. And then I'm going to use my hands. If you don't like that sort of thing, then look away or fast forward. But I like to massage all this into the arugula. It makes it a lot more tender. It takes away some of the bitterness. So you just want to massage real well till everything gets coated. And this is going to break it down even farther. It'll be even more manageable, but you're eating you know, a whole bag of arugula basically. All right, I'm going to do a little red onion. So have some red onion. Cucumber, this is an organic English cucumber. If it was not organic, I would be cutting off the peel because their cucumbers are very, very highly sprayed. And I love these brown tomatoes, Kumata tomatoes. Very tasty. And I like this bowl. I got it in Costa Rica. It's the perfect size for salad. All right. And then I'm just going to throw in a little bit of the cabbage just because I like the carrots and the cabbage, just a different green that you can throw in there. And I'll chop it up a bit. I like my pieces in my salad small. I hate fighting with lettuce and any other things that you put in there because they're so big. It gets all over your face. It just annoys me. So I just chop things up a bit. All right. So we're just gonna set this aside, and then when we get the potatoes, we'll put a little garlic salt on there and toss everything together. The potatoes are just about done. Okay, the potatoes are done. Let's grab them. Look at those beauties. I don't even let them cool off. So I'm gonna go mix this all up and enjoy my lunch. I will see you at dinner. So as some of you may know, I make a soup every Sunday, and today's Sunday, so I'm going to be making a soup. Today I'm going to be making a creamy, cheesy potato soup. And of course, it's going to be full of greens. So let's head over to the stove. I start every soup the same. I've got some water in the pan here. All my soups I start the same with onion, carrots, and celery. Okay? I'm going to have the full recipes for all of these 3 recipes in the description box, so don't you worry. Alright, so we're going to let these cook for like 5-6 minutes till they get nice and soft. And then we start building our flavors, but we're going to start with this. And I even chopped up the little greens that were on the celery because I think those are good. Alright, so we're just going to let this go for about 5-6 minutes. Alright, veggies are nice and soft. Check. Then we need 2 teaspoons of minced garlic or 2 cloves. If you chop your own garlic, you're my hero. Okay. So we'll let that go for a minute. Let's add the spices. Onion powder, garlic powder, garlic salt, parsley, and poultry seasoning. So just like a minute on this. All right, now I'm going to add about 4 cups of veggie broth. And I'm going to add as well a 1/2 cube of the no chicken bouillon. I normally use the low sodium. I don't have any right now, so I'm just going to use a 1/2. It just gives it that extra yummy flavor. And we're going to put the potatoes in now, and we'll see if I need more water. Depending on how big your potatoes are, because you want them to be covered. And I think that means we definitely need a little bit more water. Want them a little bit more covered than that. Okay, I feel better about that now. So we're going to cover this, bring this to a boil, and then let it simmer. Like, you know, a slow boil for however long it takes for the potatoes to get fork tender. And then I'll show you the little secret I have to making this creamy without adding any cashews or plant milk. So stay tuned for that. Now you can thicken up your soup a couple of ways. One way is we could puree some of this, but I actually like big chunks of potatoes in my potato soup. Sometimes I want a super smooth potato soup, but not today. Today I want some chunks in there, and that's the way I like it. The other way is to add some potato flakes, and I'm just using the Bob's Red Mill potato flakes, okay? And this works pretty well. So rule of thumb is 1 tablespoon per 1 cup of liquid. We put in about 5 or 6 cups of liquid, but I'm sure it's cooked down. I'm going to start with 4 tablespoons because you can always add more and you can't take away. And then depending on how thick you want it, you can keep going. I think I'm going to add another tablespoon. And I may add 1 more after that, but we'll just see. We'll let this cook for a minute. We're also going to add some plant-based cheese sauce since this is a creamy, cheesy potato soup. So I've got about 1.25 cups of my plant-based cheese sauce. Good stir. And it's just going to give it a hint of cheesiness. And I can see it's getting a little bit thicker. And like I said, you can do it to your liking. Now we're going to add the greens with our taters and greens. And I have 5 ounces of chopped baby kale. You could use spinach. I like to change my greens up, so I'm using kale. Some people find it too stemmy. That doesn't bother me. To me, that's just fiber. All right, so we're just gonna let this simmer on low for a couple of minutes, maybe 5, just to get that kale nice and wilted, and then we'll dish it up. So here's the soup, finished product. Let's give it a taste. I'm still kind of full from lunch, but I'll give it a taste for you. So good. And the potato flakes worked really well. So now I have soup for the rest of the week, which is really helpful as my work week goes on, and I have things ready in the fridge to go. And I hope you learned from this video how important it is to add veggies to every meal. Just throw in greens, as many as you can get in there. All these meals today are full of fiber. They're low calorie density. Fiber is what's going to keep you full, and that's what's found in our fruits, veggies, beans, whole grains, and that's where you want to focus your meals. And that's how you're going to lose weight, and that's how you're going to improve your health as well. Fiber is key. It's essential in our health, especially for our gut microbiome. So really focus on how much fiber you're getting. Don't worry about the protein so much. The protein will take care of itself. If you're struggling with a whole food, plant-based, no oil way of eating, or if you're new to it, then please join my Facebook group, and there you're going to find inspiration, recipes, and support. I also have an online digital course that is geared for transitioning to a whole food, plant-based, no oil diet. Or even if you're already on one but you're struggling, I give you step-by-step guide on how to be successful. I give you the tools you need to do this for life. So if you like this video, if you learned something, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you've made it this far in the video, please comment below with taters and greens. And be sure to check out all the resources below that I offer for you. And remember that all my recipes are good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet. And what you put on your plate determines your fate and your weight. Until next time, thank you. So all the recipes today will be featuring potato. That was uncalled for. So all the recipes today will be featured. Oh my goodness.